Over the last 5 years, my sales strategy, my deal structures have changed a lot. I've been through a lot of ups and downs, failed a lot, but learned a lot of very valuable lessons about sales specifically that I'm going to share with you today in this video. Converting leads into sales is like the holy grail of any agency or any B2B business. It's what's going to separate the winners from the losers, and it's ultimately going to decide whether or not you are profitable and you have a successful agency. The competition out there is way too rough. There is way too much competition out there for you to be letting leads slip through the cracks. You absolutely cannot afford to let leads go. Everything needs to be organized and in an ecosystem and be followed up with, and ultimately leads need to be converted into sales systematically and predictably. I'm going to show you exactly how to turn leads into sales. Let's get into it. Turning leads into sales. This is the appointment setting masterclass, guys. I'm about to show you guys some cool stuff, right? And I really think you guys will get a lot of value out of this video. Now, what a lot of people don't seem to get is that getting leads is only the first step to getting the deal closed, okay? Yes, there is never going to be a close without leads, right? There's no money coming in without leads. But people get way too excited when someone responds with interest to their campaigns, right? Their outreach messages, right? This is rookie behavior, guys. It's naive because it doesn't mean anything, okay? What I want to do is I want to turn you guys watching this into stone cold sales killers, right? And the only way to do that is act like you've been there before, even if you haven't. And guys, especially if you haven't, right? Especially if you haven't been there, you got to act like you've been there before. Because if you're hopping on calls with these big CEOs and you're acting all giddy and everything, like you're just trying to win their approval, you're going to get stomped over, right? And it starts all the way from your energy on how you respond to leads too. Okay. So let's say that you have an email campaign that gets 50 positive responses. So if 25 to 30 people book a meeting from that, that's actually very solid, right? That means that around 50% of leads turn into booked appointments. Okay. The crazy part is that means that there's only 50% of leads that even book into booked appointments, which means only half of the people who want to meet with you will actually meet with you at first. But if you don't follow the strategies that I'm going to share, you'll probably only book 5 calls from 50 positive responses, if any, right? 5%, 10%, right? It's crazy, but most people are actually running their businesses like this. And let me know if this sounds familiar at all. You send a cold email campaign, right? They get a bunch of replies, they're positive replies. And all they do is send an email saying this: sounds good. Book a time here and we can talk. And then you insert your calendar link. And then this happens. Now, on the other hand, you got someone who books 5 to 10 sales calls every week with the same exact number of positive replies that the person who's getting ghosted is getting, right? The only difference is appointment setting practices, okay? Now, let's lock in and get into it. Here's how you can increase the amount of appointments that you book and actually close more deals. Number one is probably one of the most important. It's speed to lead. Speed to lead is very important. You need to be responding within 10 minutes to every single person that replies and becomes a lead. Best case scenario, they have a phone number in their signature. If they do, you pick up the phone and you call them. It's the absolute best way to get them booked in. And it also is going to warm them up. It's going to nurture them, and it gets you one step closer. It gets you one step closer to the close, right? And it allows you to get there a lot faster than just sending an email. Now, you can use the master inbox on Instantly in Smart Lead or whatever tool you're using. But what I would recommend is that you push all of your email replies to a Slack channel so that you can stay updated, and then you could be notified of replies coming in. So that you could also have a sales rep or an appointment setter coming in and calling those leads for you once you're at that point of scale. Okay, and that's what we're working to. We want to get to the point where we can build a sales organization, right? But before we do that, you need to do this yourself. Okay, now here's a workflow on how this stuff actually works. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to start with the Slack plus Smart Lead inbox management workflow. Okay, now basically how it starts is a reply comes into Smart Lead, right? Someone responds to your cold email campaign. And then what's going to happen is that's going to get pushed to a Slack channel. Okay, and then now you have to basically look at that email and think, is a prospect interested? If no, then you're going to go in Smart Lead and you're going to mark that lead in Smart Lead as do not contact or not interested. But if yes, you're going to look for a phone number in the signature. Okay. If yes, you're going to use the SDR sequence, which I'm going to get into after. But if no, what you're going to do is you're going to use this workflow in Clay that is going to find phone numbers for you. And I'm going to actually walk you through that right now. Okay. So essentially what's going to happen is I just did one row just to simplify it. But essentially what happens is, let's say you get a response from this email. You can make an automation that all of those responses come into this Clay table, right? And then you could literally just put in their company name and their full name and it can find it for you. And then you could literally enrich that person, right? And find their phone number, right? And what this does is Clay has this thing called waterfall enrichment, where if Apollo doesn't find it, then it can use this other software and this other software and this other software, and there's all these other software. So basically, like, you're gonna find that phone number, right? Like, you're gonna find it. Like, look at all these different things just to find the phone number, okay? And then I found the phone number. Boom, I found this guy's phone number, and I can pick him up, call him, and book him in, okay? It's a lot easier, and you're gonna let a lot less leads fall through the cracks if you do this. Like, you should definitely get Clay. Cool, so you can pick them up, you can call them, all right? Now, let's say you use the SDR sequence. Let's say after you use the Clay workflow, okay, boom, you go right into this. You use the SDR sequence, which I'm going to get into, right? And then appointment booked? No. If the appointment was not booked, then you're going to mark them in your CRM and you're going to add a follow-up date. You're going to add them in some sort of sequence for later down the line or whatever the case is, right? Let's say they say, hey, reach out to me next quarter. You're going to write those notes in the CRM under the lead and you're going to schedule a time to follow up with them so that it comes up in your CRM when that time comes, because you're probably going to forget about it, okay? And then if the appointment is booked yes, that's when you start the sales process, okay? So that's literally the whole inbox management workflow here to basically have the least amount of leads going through the cracks and speed to lead, okay? Now, what is the SDR sequence, okay? What is the SDR sequence? This is the sequence that you should be using every single time you find the phone number of a prospect, okay? Most of you guys, this is what you're doing. You find the phone number, you call them one time, and then when they don't answer, you just don't do anything. That is not best practice. Let's say you find the phone number of the prospect, okay? You dial the lead, okay? If they answer yes, then you're going to use the appointment setting script that you created. And you're going to book a meeting, right? Any sort of appointment setting script works. If you guys want me to make a video on an appointment setting script, let me know and I'll make a video on that, okay? But if they don't answer, then you send a text message, right? You send something like, hey, John, you responded to my email. I was just giving you a call back. Like, this is phase on from outbound gen. That's what I would say, right? So now they know who it is, because the thing is, most people, they get a lot of spam calls, right? They get a lot of spam calls. So they're probably not going to answer the first time that you call them. But then what you're going to do, you're going to call them and they don't answer. You're going to send them a text message. Then you're going to wait 2 minutes and then you're going to call them again, right? Now it's very, very, very more likely that they're going to answer. Okay. But if they do, again, you use the appointment setting script and you book the meeting. And if no, then you're going to leave a voice note. You're going to leave a voice note or a voicemail, whatever. And you're going to say, hey, this is Faison from Outbound Gen. You sent me an email saying that you were interested in learning more about our lead generation process. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to leave this voice note here, but call me back and then say your phone number. And then just say, I'm going to send you some sort of email in the next few days as well to follow up with you. Boom. And then you're going to mark that lead in your master inbox in your CRM. Right? So that you can mark them as, hey, like they didn't answer, left voice note. And then you're going to unroll them into a subsequence. Okay. Now that's a perfect segue because that's exactly what I'm going to talk about next. Subsequences. Okay. Now, as I said earlier, guys, only 50% of leads are going to turn into appointments right away. Okay. Using that phone call speed to lead technique is going to make it a lot more efficient and a lot better. Right? But there's still going to be people that fall through the cracks that don't answer. Right? So what do we do about these other people? Okay. Before I tell you what we are going to do, let me tell you what we're not going to do. We're just not going to just forget about them and let them slip through the cracks. Now, again, guys, here's the thing about building any sort of successful B2B business, any sort of business, right? That involves sales calls. You need to be absolutely relentless when it comes to your pipeline. Okay. This is the level of intensity that you need to have, like with your pipeline. Like you should be defending it, be on offense, just be obsessed. Relentless, okay? That's how you need to feel about this, okay? Because the pipeline is the lifeblood of your business. It is your life as a salesperson. Nothing else matters except the pipeline and getting deals closed. Take it seriously and hold yourself to a high standard of excellence, okay? And note, this is not just about sales. This is about business. This is about life. This is about everything, okay? Carrying on. Subsequences. What are they? They are basically extra campaigns that are inside of your campaign, okay? But they only exist when you tag your response with something. So for example, you can go into Smart Lead into your master inbox and you can tag your responses, okay? And then every time you tag them, they can go into specific subsequences. Now, there are only 2 subsequences that you guys need, okay? Number 1 is interested. Okay. With this one, basically the prospect says they're interested and they want to learn more and hop on a call. Okay. Now it's your duty to keep following up until they book a call or they tell you to F off. Okay. Now you can add 3 to 10 plus sequences for this, but they're basically going to be something like this. The first one is going to be like, hey, first name, let me know what you thought of the last email. The number 2 is going to be like, hey, first name, coming back with the win we just got for a client. We just helped X client get Y calls last month. Check it out here. And they're going to insert your value or your case study. Let me know when you're open to discuss how we can do something like this for you. Or if it's easier for you, you can just grab a time here. Okay. And then you put your calendar link. Now, we can put our calendar link here because they've already expressed interest in wanting to speak to us, right? But we wouldn't just do this on a random cold email, okay? This is only if they've actually already said, yeah, I'm interested, okay? And they're just not following. They're just not responding anymore, okay? And then the next one is going to be out of office. Now, for this one, all you need to do is you need to copy and paste your campaign in the subsequence because the thing is they never even saw it, right? But you can add some sort of personalized first line like, hey, like tried reaching out last week, but got the auto response. So thought I'd wait and send you a note when you get back. Okay, that's it. And then you just put the exact campaign that you were going to run first. Now, the next one, guys, is going to be very action oriented. Okay, I call it the F off or book method. What we're going to be doing here is we're going to be going old school, just hammering the phone. Dial that lead every other day. Leave texts. Connect on LinkedIn. Provide more value. Send personalized looms, right? The thing is, this one can get messy, okay? But what you want to do is you want to create an action sequence in your CRM so that you can keep track of everything. You could literally call it the F off or book sequence so that every time someone slips through the cracks, you could just put them in the sequence and then every day you could just hammer them. Boom, 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 boom. Like that's what we're going to do. Now, guys, this is manual prospecting work, gritty, in the trenches stuff. We're hunting here, okay? But it's so powerful if you get after it and just do this, okay? Now, this is what the sequence looked like. Day 1, dial 2 times, leave a text, dial 1 time, leave a voicemail, right? Day 2, connect on LinkedIn. Day 3, send personalized loom via email. Send text saying you sent a personalized loom. Day 4, dial 2 times, leave text, dial 1 time again, right? Day 5, send LinkedIn message if they connected. Guys, I'm sure you can see this. This is like F off or book, right? By this point, they will 100% either tell you to F off or you'll book a call, okay? Now, if they need the solution or have any pain, they would 100% book with you, right? But if they told you no, then you just say, all right, no worries. Like, is it cool if I reach out next quarter? Or is this something that you guys don't need or don't think you need to fix at all right now? Because something resonated with you when I sent you the email, right? Because they responded to you with interest already, right? So you're just following up, right? And then if they say no, and they just keep saying, no, this isn't the right time, now what you can do is you can use this opportunity to do research. Even when you get a no, guys, you could flip that into something positive. You could use this opportunity to do research, okay? When they respond, you can ask them what their problems are. You can say something like, yeah, it's totally cool, but just one last thing before you go, though. Like, what are you guys even struggling with right now? Or is everything just smooth sailing? Like, what are you guys struggling with that you guys think you need help with right now that's going to help you get to the next level? And it's a perfect opportunity to get market feedback on your offer. It's a perfect opportunity to be able to angle your offer in a new way or plant the seed to reach out again later in the next few months, okay? It's super powerful. The last thing is something I'm actually starting to test right now internally, and I think it's really, really powerful because a lot of people are talking about it, okay? So basically what you do is when a lead responds with interest, they never book a call. After that, even when we tried calling, texting, emailing, so what we do is we just put them in an email sequence that just nurtures them and gives them value over and over. Or, for example, let's say they go to our landing page and they opt in for one of our lead magnets, then we just add them to an email list and we nurture them, right? We create a B2B newsletter, right? So what we do with this is I essentially create 10 to 15 powerful emails filled with case studies, processes, step-by-step breakdowns, SOPs, right? Basically anything that is super valuable to them, right? Now, the thing about these guys is they have to be valuable, right? They just can't, it can't just be random stuff that isn't valuable. It has to be something that you could charge $50, $100 plus for, and you're just giving it away for free because you want to prove to them that you can get them results and that your paid stuff is 10 times better, right? So After every 3 to 4 emails that you send with value, you hit them with a hard CTA pushing for a call and asking them to book one, right? This is going to crush. I've seen it crush for so many people, and we're implementing this for us right now, and I know it's going to crush, especially in an era where everyone just pitches so hard in their initial messaging, guys. When they zig, we zag, guys. All right, guys, by focusing on these strategies, you're going to get way more sales calls booked and just make way more money, right? This is the exact things and the exact systems that we're setting up for ourselves internally and for our clients to make sure that they're making as much money as possible and they're not letting money slip through the cracks, guys. So many people are doing it the opposite way and you're getting lazy, but you can't do that. So implement the things in these videos and I'm sure you'll get a lot of value out of it. By focusing on these steps and these strategies, you're going to be able to make way more money, guys, because a lot less leads are going to slip through the cracks. These are the exact things that I'm using for myself, my agency, and for our clients to make sure that they're not leaving any money on the table. So guys, let me know below in the comments which strategy you think is the best, which strategy you hadn't really thought about, and which strategy do you think is going to be the most powerful going into 2025. Like, subscribe, guys, and I will see you in the next video.